come forward than a female.
Jeez.
1 in 6 men will be sexually assaulted by the time they're 18, and 1 in 3 females will experience some form of sexual, unwanted sexual contact over their lifespan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the statistics are horrific, for such a small country, and for a country that's supposed to be so woke at the moment about mental health and that. This is just something no one wants to touch on. It's kind of, it's almost the last final taboo,
Yeah, for sure. Is the sexual abuse, we're talking specifically about men tonight, but also women, is the sexual abuse of men, is that part of our mental health problem, or is that completely separate?
Oh, it's probably, I've been in talks with probation officers. So since I've been walking, I've been meeting some amazing people, and I've had some amazing sort of community-based incentives, through social media, reaching out to me and explaining what they're doing and what they're trying to do and the efforts they're going through. And one thing that resonates is that no matter what these people are trying to prevent, whether it's suicide, whether it's depression, whether it's addiction, whether it's domestic violence, all of them are saying that the bulk of the trauma is coming from childhood, and it's either sexual, and if it's not sexual, it's physical abuse from childhood. It's
what the hell is wrong with us?
It's huge.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
You tell me, Polly.
I don't know. We are. I love being a Kiwi, but boy, we're a strange people, and we have so many secrets, so many dark cupboards. So many dark cupboards. So for you,
I think this is our biggest skeleton in the closet is these sort of statistics and this sort of around this whole situation,
So you were doing Sorry, please carry on.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
I was about to say the suicide stats around sexual abuse, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of them so that I can put a numerical figure on our latest suicide stats, but it's a bit hard because I'm trying to get the age groups. But one of the statistics is that 90% of boys that commit suicide under the age of 14 were sexually abused, and that's disclosed either by the offender out of guilt, or in their suicide note, or in their computer, in their diary, through a friend that they've reached out to before they've committed suicide. So
God,
it's huge. It's 9 out of 10 under 14-year-olds. That's your cause right there. So it's
90%. Oh, it's huge, and it can't go on. So with your walk, what do you hope? What do you hope it's going to do? I know you're meeting with Marama. What do you hope is going to happen?
Exactly what's been happening needs to just keep happening. So on the daily, I'm having men reaching out to me. Some are in a place where they're safe enough to be talking about it and trying to get help. Others are asking where to get help. Others are telling me that they're supporting me, but they can't. I had a guy today, he messaged me and said he's supporting me, but he can't share my posts or follow me because of his offender's still quite very much involved in his life. So that's like, and so I hope to be able to create some sort of platform where people can go as a sort of a first port of call so that they can be redirected. I'm working closely with Male Survivors Aotearoa, which are the national sort of body for male sexual abuse. They're the only sort of strictly male sexual abuse focused outfit in the country, and they've got 11 different offices in all the regions over New Zealand. So they've got peer support, ACC registered counsellors, and et cetera, et cetera. So trying to just sort of steer people towards them, but at the same time get the awareness happening and sort of keep beating the drum basically until stuff starts happening.
The thing is, if we have bad teeth problems, right? We know to go to a dentist. If we've got, we think, I've got anxiety, depression, there's something, I'm feeling very, very depressed and this isn't right because, I don't know why. We know to go to we'll try to go to a doctor or a psychologist. But I don't know that there's anywhere obvious, maybe because I'm not a male and I haven't been sexually abused, but it seems to me that these things should be more obviously, I was going to say obtainable.
Advertised, sort of.
Advertised, for sure. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a rabbit warren, it's just like when you Google anything. Google how to cook a stew, and you get 50,000 different results. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then you're sitting on Google for hours trying to figure it out, and by then you're so overcome by anxiety and all the rest of it that you just bugger it. I'll try again another day. But there is Male Survivors Aotearoa. They've got a website. They're out there, and then there is literally so many other small community-based incentives and people and programs, and there's a lot of good people out there that are trying to make things happen, but it's just, they're doing it off their own backs, basically, much like myself with this, there's no sort of...
Yeah, Sam, I understand. I don't understand, but I support you. But I have a few friends who are recovering addicts and friends who've been to prison, and I would say that 90% of them had been sexually abused.
Yeah. So, I mean, I spent all my youth years in boys' homes in prison up until I was 22. Yeah. I was a recovering addict. I've been through the ringer myself, and the statistics for our imprisonment, so there's 62% of males that were in psychiatric care when we had psychiatric care here. Obviously, we don't really have it now. It's all changed, thank God. But 62% of those men were sexually abused. And then 65% of your male Australian prison population has been sexually abused as well. So you're talking 2/3 of the men that are in prison in Australia have been sexually abused. There isn't any stats available for the New Zealand prison population, but I would think it was pretty safe to assume around about the same figure,
or larger, I would say,
or larger. Yeah, well, yeah. To be fair, yeah.
So you're in Kaikoura tonight, which is one of my favourite places in New Zealand. My God, isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting up in the morning and getting everyone a real beautiful sunrise video.
Oh, and we can follow you, especially on Instagram. So
yes,
on
we're on Instagram and Facebook. Yep.
Yeah, and what is your Instagram called? It's Road to Healing.
So that's the Road to Healing. The Road to Healing Aotearoa. Yep.
Oh man, where do you walk from? You'll be leaving Kaikoura, and where would you be walking to next?
So I'm walking to, there's a cafe between here and Blenheim. There's not a lot at all.
No.
So there's a cafe. There's a cafe with a campground about 60 kilometres out of town, and it's quite a funny story actually. So tomorrow I'm going to walk 40 kilometres, and then the lady that drives the ice cream truck is she's going to pick up my pack tomorrow morning for me. She's going to take it through to my accommodation, and then she's going to come and pick me up once I've walked 40 kilometres. She's going to take me to the campground. Then in the morning, she's going to take me back to where she picked me up from, and then I'm going to walk past the campground, and then she's going to come past the campground, pick me up, take me back to the campground, and then I'll walk right through to Blenheim. So I've got to split this into 3 days. It's probably the most trickiest and sort of
for sure.
And sort of I'm going to go the longest without a coffee, kind of a coffee or a bloody ice cream.
Well, I tell you what,
there's not a lot between here and there.
I've got a lot of mates that drive trucks at night that are listening right now. So if they see you, I'm sure they'll stop and give you a coffee or I've got a cup in my backpack. So if they've got a service of coffee, I'm more than happy to get a top up from them. And I hope they don't get too pissed off with me being on the road. No, they won't. Do you know what the thing about I've learned about truck drivers doing this job is that truck drivers are probably some of the most patient people we have in the country. You'd have to be. Because otherwise you'd go nuts, wouldn't you? You'd have to.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you're sitting there driving to a destination all night, all day. Yeah, absolutely.
I've been running people over. Seriously, I could not be trusted. I could not be trusted.
Yeah, hey, I've been pretty lucky so far. I've had a lot of people beeping out and heaps of people stopping and offering me rides and just all sorts. People. I had a lovely lady the other day. She bought me some chops and some veggies out of her garden and some eggs from her hen house, and that was choice. Another guy got his mum baked me a meatloaf, and she cut that all up, and she met me on the side of the road with a block of chocolate, a meatloaf, and a Powerade. So that was pretty special as well.
Suddenly I desperately want meatloaf. Damn. You've got 6 kids, which is very impressive for a 39-year-old man. 6 kids. Are they proud of you? Yep. Are they old enough to know what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got 16. My oldest are 16, 15, and 14, and they're super proud. They're my biggest supporters. Yeah, they've been sharing my social media and that amongst their friend groups, and the support that I've received from the young ones in our hometown has just been overwhelming. Like we had one of my son's friends gave us a little donation on our Give a Little page the other day, which was just amazing, sort of give us their pocket money kind of thing.
Oh,
so it's cool,
What's your Give a Little page? Tell me what it is.
That's the Road to Healing Aotearoa as well.
Okay, the Road to Healing. We've got to do something, Our statistics are horrifying. And you saying to me that it takes 22 more years for a man to come out and talk about his sexual abuse than a woman. It's just so... No wonder men can't live with it. I mean, that's a lot of time to hold on to a lot of trauma. Holy...
Yeah, and in that period of time, that's where the addiction, where the failing relationships, the abusive relationships, like this is the core problem. You know what I mean? If we want better men, if we want better fathers, if we want better, lower statistics for domestic violence, this is it. Why do men don't just grow up and decide I'm going to beat women up and I'm going to be a shit dad and I'm not going to be a productive member of society? They're traumatized and they're just going through the motions and I mean, what more, who's going to cop it? Obviously, mum at home, your partner at home, she's the one that's going to cop it when you've had a shit day and you come home and you just don't want to deal with the world. It gets taken out on her, or it gets taken out on the bottle, or it gets taken out on the drugs, or, and then your life just spirals. So,
wow.
We've got to do more than being an ambulance at the bottom of a cliff. We've got to get up to the top of the cliff and sort of start checking people before they fall.
And I don't know if you. I totally agree. What I worry about sometimes with Kiwis is we get on board things when they happen. It's like when Dave Latelli's, he had his food bank robbed, and people are like up in arms and they're dropping off food and everything. And it's like, are they still dropping off food? And then, and that's the thing is we have to, we can't just get onto a bandwagon and then go, okay, what's the next thing happening? We've got to stay on. Yeah. We've got to stay vigilant, eh? Yeah. Vigilant.
Yeah, and then if we all jump on a bandwagon and we all actually be productive about it, we can come up with some systems and some ideas, put some things in place, work with government or whoever needs to be worked with, and then move on to the next thing. Once we've figured out that one, we can keep jumping on. We've got so many wagons. Yeah. We've got it sucked, until we get to the core problem,
You sound like somebody, and I mean, I would hate to be in politics. I can't imagine anything worse. But you sound like you're somebody that needs to have, like a bigger voice. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm trying. Look, I'm reaching out. I'm trying. Like, I've been non-stop on my social media. I have been reaching out to, right for everyone from your sports stars to your politicians to your media stars to your TikTok influencers. I have been reaching out to everyone.
God, Sam.
And I have been getting some reshares. I have been getting some positive messages back. But I mean, I understand these people have huge followings, and how are they meant to check their messages? Like I know how hectic mine is, and I don't know. I've only got 1,700 people following me or something. So I can imagine it'd be hectic with 20 plus. Yeah. Well, we need to change that. We need to change that. We need to create a platform.
I tell you, I have all up, I think about a couple of 100,000 followers. So I'm definitely going to share your stuff and encourage people to follow you.
But amazing.
But amazing. more than that, I just don't want to get on a bandwagon and then forget I got on the wagon and go, where am I now? Like this is huge. This is huge. This is huge, Sam.
It is, Polly. And that's the thing, we've just got to sort of, I'm doing the hard bit by literally putting myself out there and walking the length of the country, and that's good because it's taken me 2 months. So, I mean, we're getting momentum, we're getting the word out there, and hopefully by the time I reach the top, there is this platform that we can then work from, there is this, sort of this following that can't be denied, that government can't deny that this is what people want and that people agree with, and when the messages are flooding in, they're already flooding in now, literally I'm getting a couple of free every day of people reaching out to me. So, when my following becomes bigger, obviously there's going to be so many more people, and, that's undeniable. When I can sit there and I can scroll with whatever minister I need to scroll through my messages with and say, look, another one. How many hours you've got, mate? Because I've got hundreds and hundreds and thousands of messages here for you to read, and it's not just men, it's women, it's wives and partners of men reaching out to me saying,